Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody. Good night, good night, good night, good night.
Hello. Continue.
Hmm?
Continue.
I think so.
Adrenaline.
Okay.
Good night, everybody. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night, everybody. Good night. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our channel When Two Become
One.
One. I am Shanice Layla Bogle, a trauma and relationship specialist or coach. And this is my husband.
My name is Anthony Bogle. I'm a speaker and also an entrepreneur.
Okay, thank you. And we are here tonight. We are excited to be here tonight. And welcome to those who are coming in. Welcome to those who are inviting others at this time. If you're catching the replay, welcome, welcome, welcome. Don't forget to like, share, and to leave a comment in the comment section. We want to know what these videos are doing for you, these lives are doing for you, the information. Is it helping? What do you think about them? And we also just want to hear your thoughts because we love to interact with you. So tonight we're talking about a topic, loving a narcissist. And based on the feedback before the live even started, when you get a topic and you wonder if does people or do people actually are people affected by this topic. But then when you see the
The
comments,
response,
the
yeah.
response, the need for this based on what persons are saying, you realize that this is a real problem for a lot of people, for a lot of couples, for a lot of marriages. And so tonight we want to get into that. Before we do that, I want to also say thank you again to our new subscribers.
Beautiful, beautiful,
Actually,
beautiful.
we have been gaining new family members, and we
Yes.
want to just give you a nice round of applause. Big up, big up, big
We
up. Thank
appreciate
you.
you. We appreciate you. We
Yes, we are
appreciate you.
really appreciate you for coming on, for being a part of us. And we just are here every Monday and a Thursday. Mondays are our rekindle nights where we connect with couples around the world. And on Thursday, like tonight, we teach on deeper, you'd say we go deeper. We teach on topics, all things marriage, healing, passion, and purpose. And so we want to get into this thing, loving a narcissist. Um,
And I just want to say also that last week was powerful.
yes, no, actually it's Monday.
Monday,
Monday.
yeah,
Yes, today's Thursday. So Monday night
Monday night.
was
It was very
absolutely
awesome. It was
impactful.
awesome. It was very.
Yes. If you have not gotten that a chance to watch that, please go ahead and catch the replay. What did we talk about again? Um, we had the
A love
Jordines.
worth fighting for.
Yes, a love worth fighting for, and we got the raw and real story of a couple who weathered the storm. Some unbelievable events, but yet still they came through
You know, it
by the
really
grace
gave
of
me
God.
hope. You know, it gave me hope. You know, you realize sometimes you get so lost in the, all that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
The failing of
Yeah.
relationships and family. So
Mm-hmm.
when you see a couple come out
Yeah.
on top, despite the different challenges and everything that they face, you have to give God thanks, and
Yeah.
also, you realize that there's still love out there.
Mm. Yeah.
There's still
Yeah.
love out
Yeah.
there. So
Mm-hmm.
that was very beautiful, you know, very
Amen,
beautiful.
amen, amen. All right, so before we get into this topic, loving a narcissist, yes, impactful indeed. Good night to the Bogles. Yes, please go ahead and just let us know who is here. We want to give you an official shout out. So we see Fiona. Welcome,
Hi Fifi, hi
Fiona.
Fifi, what's up?
Yes, and then we are encouraging you to go ahead and share the live. We're going to talk about loving a narcissist. Listen, we are in for a treat. It's a lot of information, and we're going to try to really concise within 1 hour. Let's aim,
Hopefully,
hopefully, let's aim for
hopefully.
an hour and then we want to really just give some solutions because it's nice to give information that you can go and source probably yourself, but at the same time, what is the solution? How are we helping other people to survive and weather these storms? So without any further ado, I want to start with a disclaimer that we are not medical doctors, we are not um, licensed psychologists. We want to encourage you that if you're consuming the content while we're trained and certified in trauma healing and recovery and relationship, I want you to not substitute it for your medical advice or your psychological advice or from your doctor, from your personal therapist or psychologist. Do not skip that out or, do away with that to say, oh, a YouTube couple, a couple on YouTube actually told me what to do. No. So we always say, get what you can get on this side and form it with the grace of God how you can best navigate your life. So who is a narcissist? Who's
Mm.
that? Because sometimes we use that term so much. Oh, you meet a person who you cannot stand or handle, or they have a particular trait, and you just say that's
Yes.
narcissistic. Good
Good
night
night,
to the
Dorette.
Bogles. Hello, Dorette.
Good night, good night, good night,
Welcome, Dorette.
good
Welcome,
night,
welcome, welcome, Lady Reed.
good night.
So, who is a narcissist? Who you think is a narcissist? In your own words, don't give me like a formal definition, because I'll give the definition. But who you feel like is a narcissist?
Who I feel like is a narcissist.
Do they have a look? Do they dress a certain way? Do they behave a
Yeah,
certain
and I
way?
remember us having this conversation about a narcissist.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that came to me, and we kind of dispelled the whole notion that not
Mm.
because a person might have certain traits
Or
or
yeah,
a part of their personality, we're going to jump say, oh, you're a
that's a
narcissist,
narcissist. Yeah.
but it is way deeper.
Mm-hmm.
I strongly believe that it's a what you call it medically,
Yeah, medical condition,
it's
like
a medical condition,
mental. Yeah.
pretty much a
Mm-hmm.
mental um condition where
Mm-hmm.
it comes with a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like for you to for us to break, I feel like it should be broken down
Yeah.
in in an own way, but it's
Mm.
pretty much comes with toxicity.
Mm-hmm.
It comes with uh you know the arguments. It
Mm-hmm.
comes with the controlling.
Mm.
There's so many different
Wow.
things it comes with. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
it's best, I think it's best
Thank
for you
you.
to
Thank you.
break it down
Thank you.
in your own way.
Hmm. And for you guys online, who you think is a narcissist? Like, who is a narcissist to you? Because even if you have, especially if you have spouses who are like this, and you may chalk it up to, this person is narcissistic, or somebody told
Mm.
you that this is a narcissist that you're dealing with. Who do you believe is a narcissist? We also don't want to paint every trait. Maybe it's
Mm.
similar to the how the person is behaving. So with narcissistic traits, we can see these in parents, we can see them in family members, we can see them in friends, co-workers, loved ones. So these strategies that you are being taught tonight, and the information is really for anyone who you will meet, especially how to deal with your spouse. If the spouse, or if you are dating or courting, especially for those who are dating and courting, listen, it would be the ideal time for you to know what this is or who this is, because typically in my field, we do not advise relationships to proceed if you are in this type of relationship, because it is better to cry now than to cry later.
Later.
It's better to, it's going to be worse to try to navigate how to get out, so it's best to navigate how you're going in, basically. So again, we as a foundational, in terms of marriages being founded on biblical principles on this channel, we don't encourage just go get a divorce, or the least thing, go get a divorce. It's really going to always be on what the Lord is saying about your marriage, and that to remember that your covenant, your marriage, is a sacrificial covenant. Good night, Tevon. Welcome.
Night, everyone.
So remember that the marriage is a sacrificial covenant, and it should be for a lifetime. So for those who are single, you're not married yet, you need to understand these traits that are possible in people. Probably they're in yourself. And the best advice that we give to those who are dating, courting people who are like this, is to run. Don't even prolong it, because medically studies have shown in the mental health profession, people who are narcissistic don't tend to change.
Yes, that's
They
yeah.
do
There's
not
no guarantee.
necessarily
Yes, yeah, there's no
change.
guarantee that they will
Yes, it's
change.
almost like they're brain wise incapable. So, is this always so? Because I've seen beautiful testimonies,
Mm.
and people would say, "Oh, I was a narcissist, but something changed me." No, we're going to look at the end as to what changed them, because generally, these people don't change. They are basically incapable when we look at certain things. So let's get into it. Narcissistic traits. So to deal with a narcissist is going to be a battle. It's going to be it's the hardest battle you'll ever fight. Take it from me. Elaine Davis, good night, Bogles.
Good night,
Can
good
you
night.
do a it stopped at can you do a what ask the question again, Elaine. Okay. So only if you are aware and if you are willing to deal with one, will you probably meet some amount of success. And I feel that, and I know based on studies and again, my field, how I deal with couples, how I counsel, is that you'll see that a lot of times it's for self gratification, wanting to be the person who fixed this
Hmm.
person, and you will stay, you will endure, because you really were hoping to be that person, that special one who changed this
First, yeah.
behavior,
Hmm.
this personality. And so the best thing is that you'd have to know the game of a narcissist. Can you kind of do a Q&A soon? Definitely, one is coming up. So hold on to your questions, guys. So you will have to know the game to play this game. You will have to know how a narcissist think, who is this kind of person, and then you will have to know and understand the counter
Hmm.
moves.
Hmm.
The counter moves, like some of the things are like the emotional hits that will come from this person, and then you need to know how to swerve. You need to know how to combat and stand up for yourself, basically like a fight. And who wants to be in a fight emotionally in a relationship?
It's pretty much understanding the person's trigger.
Yeah.
It's understanding the person's trigger and knowing how to navigate
Mm-hmm.
those trigger. But at the end of the day, like who wants to be in a relationship? It's almost
Yeah.
like walking on eggshells,
Mm-hmm.
pretty
Because
much.
knowing a trigger is like, oh, I understand that this will trigger my husband, who is typically, who is, you say, functional.
Mm.
But remember, if it's a medical, if it's a mental condition, then it's like a trigger times 10. It comes with so much more underlying manipulative tactics, instead of just, oh, this triggered me and this is my response. It starts to become deliberate in how they use the things that trigger them to their advantage and to their gain. So again, the first advice is to run. So who is a narcissist? A narcissist is someone who has an excess, dysfunctional, and toxic interest in themselves, and their appearance and their overall importance. So, at the cost of anybody else, they will throw anyone under the bus. They will probably even run you over with that bus just to ensure that they are left or seen as the victor, or they are seen as the one to be looked at, admired, the one who gets the attention, the one who wins, the one who will stand out and is superior at the end of this,
Yeah.
at the end of everything, because for them, it's all about winning. And it's all about you actually being left ashamed, you being left toyed with your emotions, you being left beaten with your self-esteem,
Belittled.
belittled, so you are left crushed, and they will not be able to feel for you. They'll not be able to give you effective, healthy love, because to them, they're not capable of giving that. It's a sign of weakness. It's a sign of, oh, they're not even, the brain is not even clicking like that. So they will not feel for you. They're incapable of being compassionate, and they're not necessarily willing to be in your shoe, to give off what you need in a relationship.
Or even to say, I am sorry.
Right.
You know.
I am sorry is very hard, and this goes beyond somebody who may feel unworthy, not unworthy, feel inferior, but it is, I will never tell you I'm sorry
Yes.
because I'm not sorry.
And
So,
how they would do that pretty much is that they will, let's say, you and your husband have an argument. Yeah, let's say he's the narcissist. You both have an argument. What that person would do is that, instead of, like, for instance, if he's the bad one, he's the person that is doing the most. What that person would do, instead of saying sorry, they would buy you something, or they will take you
oh,
out to dinner. You understand? But to
yeah.
get that word out, to say, listen, I am sorry for what I did, is something that will never come out.
Yeah, so it's like a push and pull, toying with how, and which is why a lot of partners, the offended partner who is in the relationship trying to save and win this person, they're so confused because it's a push and pull. Excuse me, this day it's a good day, the next day it's a bad, terrible day. You are made to feel like the worst person in the world, but at the end of the day, tomorrow they come with roses, or they buy a gift, or they are all upon you. So you are confused,
Yes,
legit
yes,
confused.
yes.
So again, a narcissistic person is someone with a personality disorder. So, guys, ladies, don't go into these relationships thinking that you can change the man or change the woman. It's a personality disorder.
Yes.
It's a mental health condition in which someone needs and seek too much attention, and always want others to be admiring them. They typically lack the ability to understand and care for others' feelings. So the brain development is dysfunctional, and the personality type can't be changed for overall effective good. So, you would say, oh, yeah, man, they can change. If it's a personality type, it's a psychological fingerprint. So, it is not necessarily possible to change a narcissist. So, tonight we are looking at the marriage in terms of the content and the context. It's more going to be geared towards marriage. How do you deal if you are in a relationship with a narcissist and if you are courting? How do you navigate this situation? So, firstly, we want you to analyze, how do you feel in your relationship? Do you always feel like you're at fault? Do you always feel like you are made to feel like the wrong one, even when it's obvious it's the other party who offended?
Yes.
Even when it's obvious that they're the ones who did something wrong in the relationship, they will still find a way to blame you.
Yes.
And then, you know what's funny? You will start to look in yourself and think
Think that
and
you, yeah.
I wonder if I'm the one who's really wrong. So you will start to disbelieve yourself. You'll start to doubt. and you will really truly feel that, oh, it's probably me, I'm the problem, I'm at fault, even when it is clear cut they
Yes.
did the thing.
Yes.
So they will, it's again, it's a personality type or a personality style. So someone who behaves intensely, consistently rigid, and entitled. The person is obnoxious. The person needs to be superior all the time. This partner or this spouse, they seek out adventures and avenues to prove or display themselves as worthy, praised. They need to be seen. They need to be identified as the
Yes.
one to be lauded and applauded and glorified at all cost. And it's not necessarily easy to spot one because the person can be covert. There are different types of narcissists where there are some that are kind of like undercover. You don't really spot them out so easily. And then there are the blatant, overt ones, the ones that are explicit. There is no question. They have no shame in their game. And that's another thing. A narcissist is not necessarily shameful. They have shame underneath, but they don't see it like that. They will hide insecurities, yes, but to them, in their heart, people who are aware, mindful, compassionate are foolish people. They cannot see any other way around living like that, because remember, it's a personality
Imprint.
imprint.
Yeah.
It's based on how the brain was stimulated or the lack of stimulation in the brain. So let's look at some of the root cause. This again is the reason a lot of wounded partners stay with a narcissist. A narcissist will break you down emotionally, physically. Sometimes it leads to physical abuse. Many times it's emotional, or most times it's emotional discredit, emotional battering,
Yes.
emotional batter bruising, like we say in Jamaican terms. They'll destroy you financially. They'll destroy you in terms of being loyal to the marriage or to the relationship. They will manipulate you at the sight of having an opening to say,
Master
oh,
manipulator.
I can get away with this. She didn't deal with it, or he didn't deal with it
Yeah.
the right way. There is an opening to continue. So they will manipulate, they'll destroy, they'll break you down, and they will just look for what they can take from this relationship. It's just a grandiose appetite where
Yeah.
they need to be served and seen instead of serving and to be given. Now, when we think about what a marriage is this in line with what a marriage should be? A covenant, a godly divine covenant. Is this even a marriage? Which is why the topic of divorce comes in, where people are justified many times to walk away from this, because at the forefront, at the get-go, this is
Yeah.
not
It's
even
not
a
even a marriage.
marriage,
Yeah.
because you're with someone who is basically incapable of carrying out. But at the other hand, on the other hand, we see many stories of people saying they have been delivered, they've been set freed, and we can't knock those stories, because I do believe that God can change anybody. It's almost like saying, oh, so the person has a mental illness, God can't change that. No, we would be lying.
Yeah. The
But
person will have to want the change though.
the person will have to want to change, and many times they're not capable of wanting that change. But the thing with a narcissist is that they know that the dysfunction is there. It's just that they don't classify it as dysfunction. And even if they do admit to it being dysfunctional, they're not feeling for you. They're not empathetic, they're not compassionate, they cannot feel, because they're not willing to be mindful. They're not willing to be aware. They're not willing to change the story. They are comfortable and they get empowered by being in this cycle of being stagnant. And to them, that stagnancy emotionally is actual growth for them.
But it takes it's a time process though,
For
for a
what?
person to get to that place where it's like their conscience is seared, like that little side is seared. It is definitely a process.
Um, A process, yes, but when, like, in terms of root cause,
No, no, yeah, pretty much. As you said, abandonment
mm-hmm,
issues,
right,
and dealing with that over and over and over, that being a part of the person's life
right,
over time,
mm-hmm,
pretty much it had brought them to that place where it's like their
mm-hmm,
conscience is seared, like that part that normally would say, "I feel for you,"
mm-hmm,
or the emotional aspect is pretty
yeah,
much
it shut off.
is wiped out.
And that's the thing, because narcissistic tendencies are typically coming from childhood. um, and because it's coming from childhood, it's in the formative or developmental years.
Hmm.
So because this is in their developmental years, it don't feel abnormal. This is why it feels normal, because it is a part of their growth.
Hmm.
It's a part of what groomed them into this man, this woman. So it doesn't feel abnormal for them to throw anybody under the bus. It doesn't feel bad to them. It doesn't feel badly, because to them this is how someone should live,
Hmm.
because this is how I was grown. This is what I didn't get. And they may have insecurities, but it will always be masked with that I don't care. I don't care. And they really don't care. They really don't care for you. So, root causes, attachment style is one of the biggest root cause of a narcissist,
Hmm.
where the parent did not create an attachment bond. It's the problem was with the guardian or the parent. That person did not get that stimulation, that
Hmm.
validation. You have so many other reasons, but these are the main ones. Trauma being at the base
Yes.
of narcissistic tendencies and personalities. Trauma is typically there. Attachment dysfunction, A. So look at childhood trauma, especially.
Being cheated on countless times. Yeah.
Yes. And then again, that would have to be compounded with something that was
Hmm.
there from
Hmm.
childhood,
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
know?
Hmm.
So the part of the brain that needed to be stimulated with affirmation, validation, encouragement, this is what the study is saying, praise, and lead to great sense of self, was not there. Nobody saw them, nobody validated them, and it's not typical that everybody who got this is going to be narcissistic.
Yeah.
So this study did not say that at all. Studies don't show that, but it is quite frequent, and it is very repetitive that you will find somebody who is like this. So not everybody who experiences these
Hmm.
situations will turn out to be a narcissist. So again, that part of the brain did not get stimulated. And so now this person is living in a low sense of self. Hello, Samantha, blessings. So these people were mainly met with the trauma of rejection, abandonment, unmet attachment need. And so this lack of engagement in this man or this woman, and there's no spark in that part of the brain, the under stimulation, the stimulation, the lack of love, the lack of safety, the lack of comfort.
Hmm.
This is why their partners want to stay, because it now feels like, oh my God, they didn't get this, they
Yeah.
didn't get that,
You
so
really
I
want to
have to
give them.
give it to
Yeah.
them. But understand this, like you'd have other medical um, or mental health dysfunctions, challenges, conditions, it is the same thing. So your game can't be the same, like
Yes.
you're dealing with a functional or a partner who is not. Good evening to the Bogles. Very interesting topic. Hello, Esther. Richards Waugh. Thank you for being on, and I am happy. We're happy that this is actually being
Yes.
helpful.
Yes. Yes.
So, the person who is in the relationship wants to stay because they feel like, oh my God, I'm helping this man, this woman. Oh Lord, yes, finally. And it might be true. They're getting a little love here and there, but it cannot be received.
Yes.
It's not going to be received in a healthy way, because they will continue to look for ways to hit at you in terms of comments, in terms of remarks, in terms of criticism, in terms of belittling, in terms of shaming you. The narcissist has three main games. One, For them to be superior at all times, they must win. They will expose you as even as their spouse. They will talk about you. They will throw you under the bus.
Yes.
They will beat you down emotionally, financially, and again sometimes physically, just because one, the agenda, they must win at all cost. It's a winning game for a narcissist. Two, you must become shameful. They will not stop until you, as a person, you start to change
Hmm.
in your thoughts, your perceptions of people, yourself, and then you start to change your whole personality. You stop going out, you stop dressing well,
Yes.
because they're basically sucking and gaining from you being diminished. So the more they pull you down, the more strength they get to operate in grandiosity and say, oh,
Yes.
yeah, I'm just the boss. So you wonder if these people can actually love. That right there is not love.
You
That's
can't have any. You
pain.
can't have any friends.
You're not able to have friends. You're cut off from other people.
Yeah.
And there are different levels and types of narcissist. But this is like the general traits. So they are programmed, they are wired to naturally take. They are wired because of the the mental imprint, the biological wiring. The brain was wired to be in operation in a certain way. They'll gaslight a lot. They will leave you feeling confused. You'll be anxious. You'll feel helpless. You'll feel like you're constantly blaming yourself. You'll feel regret, shame, guilt, and even become hesitant to leave. So
Yes.
you're gonna be, and I heard of some cases where the narcissist sense that the spouse want to leave and then put them out. And the
Yeah.
person would say, oh, they'll never do that to me. Yeah, they are forced to leave the home. A narcissistic spouse will put you out of the house. Let's say you're sharing residence. Some
Hmm.
people are separated but in the same house.
Yes.
They will do anything for you to seem like you're at fault so they can have a reason
Hmm.
to go report you, so you need to leave. Especially here in the US, where it's cases like you're sharing a residence because you have nowhere to go, and but yes, still you're separated because this person has these traits and you want to create distance. But you have people who will actually force you to hit them. They'll be in your
Hmm.
face, annoying, taunting you, hurling insults, and then you maybe push them. They would go file that, or you need to
Hmm.
leave the premises. They'll
Yeah.
do things like that. They'll taunt you daily. They will not, they're like your worst nightmare. And we would say people like that exist. Yes, they do exist. You have a lot of spouses, and
Yes.
this is why we wanted to venture in this topic, because a lot of times we don't know who a narcissistic
Yeah.
spouse is. We know about spouse who cheat. We know about spouse who don't want to go church. We know about spouse who not becoming spiritual, and those are good things to explore. But when we come on to cases like narcissistic spouses, many times it's just ignorance and a lack of knowledge. We don't realize that they really are in
Exists. They
existence
exist. Yeah.
more than we think. So, what do their behaviors look like? They do a lot of shaming. Sometimes it's indirect in terms of low blows. They will throw shades, they backhand compliments. Oh, your shirt is nice, but if you're never that big, they'll just give you, oh, if you're never that skinny. Oh, but it's a nice shirt, man. It's a nice
Yeah.
shirt.
Has to come with
But
something
it has
negative.
to come with something negative, because at the end of the day, you must feel shame.
Yes.
So before I continue that, I was saying that their game, three main games: to win, to seem superior. The second one is so that you feel ashamed, and the third one is you must. I think it's like self-esteem, but we're gonna look at that. So you must leave with some backhand compliments. It makes you question yourself. You are constantly bombarded with rude remarks. You just can't believe that your own partner. So this is telling you now, what did they come to you with to make you fall in love with them? They are very smart.
Yes.
They're manipulative and they know how to play the game. For a narcissist, it's all a game. It's an enormous lie. It's an act. And they see the relationship, they see what you do, they know what you do, they know you're trying to be confident, loving, and they will become triggered by that because they did not get that. They don't have that. Their upbringing was not that way. Their experience that caused them to become like this,
Yes.
psychologically scarred, is not healthy. So it becomes an agenda to hurt everybody who is of a certain health,
To bring them down to a
to
certain level.
bring
Yeah.
you down.
Yes.
So you have some people who will even propose, and in the back of their scheme, I am in this relationship because one, she's a nice, um, looking nice. She seems sure she a command mentally, emotionally, and she has money or she's promising
Mm-hmm.
financially. So I am in that to suck from that source. But at the end of the day, there's no loyalty in their mind. That's the other thing we're going to get at, where loyalty will not be something that they want. Because remember, they're going to be using tactics like shame and blame and gaslighting. Good night to the Bogles and viewers. Hello,
Cola.
Nicola. Thank you for being on. So the narcissist, it's all a game. You guys, get this. There was no true love in the beginning and then they became a narcissist. No. No. There was no true love in the beginning and then, oh, somewhere in the relationship they became a narcissist. No, it doesn't work like that. They were already that. And they managed to pretend enough
Yeah.
to act the part, to be in love, to show like they were in love. They told you because narcissists study what you want to hear. They know. Samantha said no. They study what. Tell me what you mean, Sam. They know what you want to hear because they know the cracks in people. They know little slip ups. So if you are someone who needs affirmation, they'll give you affirmation. If you want to be validated, they'll validate you.
That's why they're called the master manipulator.
Yes, they're called master
Manipulators.
manipulators.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just,
Starcher said they are very good actors. Yes,
yes.
they are. They really are. And again, ladies and gentlemen, don't believe they don't know what they're doing. They know what they are doing. They are very much aware of their one, they know that they're operating like this and they know the gains they get from it. So they are aware. So you don't have to
Yeah.
be
Try to find
sorry.
your weakness. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
they know your weakness, Nicola. So you don't have to be sorry for them.
Yeah.
You must be compassionate, yes, because it's a sad state to be in psychologically. But you don't have to be sorry for them. Oh my God, they don't know what they're doing. Please, Lord, reveal it. They know what they're doing. It's just that they cannot feel for the other person. And is it their fault? Not necessarily via root causes, but the responsibility is always on them
Mm-hmm.
to change, to
Yes.
take accountability. And many times they don't want to because they gain. They are not, it's almost like these people are numb, they're cold, and emotionally they don't want to connect because it's probably too painful or it's too triggering. And that's the trick that makes people fall for them because everyone wants to be an emotional savior. But it's going to typically, I heard a lawyer say, you're going to spend more years trying to unravel a divorce, trying to get away from this person. They will break you down so badly that it takes more years undoing what they did to you, mentally especially, than the amount of years you spent happy with them.
Yes.
So let's say you're married for 5 years to this person. Let's say you were in a relationship for 5 years with this person. You're going to probably spend 180 years unraveling the mess they did to you. You'll unravel for a longer time what they did to you than the time you spent happy with them. They did not get narcissistic in your marriage. They did not get narcissistic in the relationship. They were already narcissistic before they approached you, before they came in the marriage. So that means you can't fix them.
Yes.
You cannot change them. And if you're the one who is narcissistic tonight and you recognize and you want to do the work, by all means commit to doing the work. I agree, they would just pretend until they can't pretend. Yeah, yeah, because there is a stage where we call it the frog, the frog bath syndrome, something like that, where you put the frog in the water, the frog swimming around, thinking it's a nice little lake, personal bubble bath, and then you turn on the fire, and the frog don't realize that there's fire underneath. And then you swim around a little bit until it gets so hot, the frog can no longer jump out. It has now become too late.
Yes.
And for many people, for many spouses, for many wives especially, it has become too
Too late.
late. So let's go to what the behavior looks like again. Continuing, the shaming can take place blatantly. They aim to make you feel shameful, and it begins this way. Typically, that's how they start. In the relationship, you'll find that, they're not necessarily physically abusing, but it starts with shame. Typically, that's how they start off the attacks. The beatdown is through their words mainly. Can't you do this better? Or it's a comparison, and the comparison is not one to support or to build the relationship. It's really to break down the relationship. So when you look at why are they even saying these things to you, you can't do your hair. Do you really think women of 2023 still look like that? It's not to build you,
Yes.
because tone and intent and content and context, people can probably say that, but it what's behind it. Is this person generally loving and caring and always want to do things to make the relationship better? Or are they always somehow, do you feel heavy with them? Like you're always attacked, you're always made to feel like the wrong one, you're always made to feel like the bad one, the one in error. What's the underlying tone of those remarks? What's
Especially when
the
it's
aim?
repetitive.
When it's repetitive, yes. So it begins with a lot of shaming. A lot of shaming. They have no empathy. They do not admit to faults. Whenever things go wrong, they'll blame somebody else. It's your fault. You made me do this. If you had just not say that, then I wouldn't have to shame you. If you just did not do that, then I wouldn't have to hit you. And they will attach words like, darling, you know I love you. You just don't do that again. Please, I'm begging you. Just
Yes.
don't do that again. Listen, they can act. They are great actors. They can act. So they don't see themselves in error. They're very arrogant. They're very reactive. They're very entitled. And they're very puffed up. Pride. Very puffed up. So they'll tell a lot of stories with exaggeration to make themselves look good. You know, those people who tell whole heap of lies. They will puff up a story. They'll inflate a story to ensure they look bigger and superior than what they are and who they are. They always need validation, they always need attention. They're typically admiration seekers, many times at the cost of other people. They don't care who gets hurt in the situation. They will need that praise for themselves, and you will get torn down. So they'll grind you down into being so shameful that you're going to become easily manipulated psychologically, because you're going to start to question yourself. So many times they're at odds with other people. You know, they're just always bumping it with others. And then at other times they come off so charming, so sweet, on top of their game. They seem empathetic, they seem safe. Yeah. So you've always been loyal? Oh my God, so good. Wonderful. And then the next minute they say that, they're going to say, Oh, so you're tribal loyal. I am going to tear you down. I am going to be the. Hey, you have some
Hey,
people.
mommy, good
Hey,
evening.
mom, good evening. You have some people who set out like agents from hell, come to deliberately say, oh, yeah, you've always been faithful. Oh, my God, so wonderful. That is so nice. So proud of you. And the moment you walk off, oh, so you're always faithful. Watch me, you look out. I'm gonna come get you. And they will do everything in their power to ensure that you leave knowing that, hey, I'm superior. You're gonna live in shame.
Yes.
And they don't care. They do not care. So, stages of how this manifests, it goes from less, like a lot of shame, again, a lot of verbal abuse, a lot of remarks, a lot of cheeky comments, backhand comments, just being negative at you, just hitting you with insults in the undercover way. So it's less, and then it can be immature but behavior. And then it goes to being big, blatant abuse verbally. And then these people will do so much crying and begging. The crying and the begging is attached to it because they want to make you so confused and so anxious that you're going to left many times with also needing counseling.
Yes.
The persons who are in this position typically needs to be counseled as well because you'll be scarred. You're going to be so tired. You're going to be so drained emotionally. Your energy is going to be so zapped. One, you're going to be afraid of people. You're going to be afraid of love. You're going to be afraid of trusting. Hi, Thai K family. We missed you. Good night. Good night.
Right.
So it's going to be just such a hard battle. Now, how do they exist in marriages and in relationships? Whole heap of lies. A lot of lies are told in a relationship where you have a narcissist, and a lot of deception, a lot of infidelity, because they believe that, listen, I don't have to live truthfully with them because I run that home. I run that home and it's my way. And better yet, this is a good one. And better yet, if you were a better partner, I would not be like this. So they would blame, blame,
Blame.
blame, blame, blame. It's always somebody else. Any point you want to jump on?
No, you pretty much hitting it.
So what you think about somebody who is going through this? Like, can you actually imagine how what that feels like?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like,
What do you
as you
think they
said, it's a
feel?
it's a it's a it's a it's a disorder that, and as you just mentioned, it's something that it does not just happen overnight.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that the person um has gone through that really got them to that place,
Mm-hmm.
right? And what you get from that is that over time this person becomes dominant. It's almost like, I want to dominate you, I want to dominate everything
Yeah.
around us, I want
Mm-hmm.
to control everything around us.
Yeah.
And so now it's like, become a slave to that person.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You understand? Become a slave to that person.
Yeah. Yeah.
you know um but you know it is deep, where, as you said, you pretty much, if you're not careful, you begin to lose yourself.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You begin to lose your self-worth, you begin to
Mm.
lose your mind, in which you no
Yes.
longer think for yourself.
Yeah.
Your decisions that you would normally make is now
Mm-hmm.
based on what this person says.
Mm-hmm. You start to see yourself through their
You
eyes.
understand? Now you start to see
Mm-hmm.
yourself in their eyes. You cannot make certain moves because you're wondering how this person is going to
Mm.
respond.
Yeah.
So it is a lot.
Yeah.
Anybody that is in that position, I promise you, it
Mm-hmm.
it takes a lot to navigate out of that.
Yeah.
And so, it is crazy, because it also, your word, like, who you are as a
Yeah.
person, in terms of like speaking, giving advice
Mm-hmm.
in the home, is no longer something that is valid or needed.
Yeah. Yep.
Your voice is no longer heard.
Mm-hmm. You've been
You've
silenced.
been silenced,
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
so it is a lot.
Yep.
It is a lot.
There's a lot of fear. It's a lot of fear, a lot of fear, a lot of fear. Impacting the marriages and relationships. And you're so correct. Thanks for sharing that. So it leaves you always trying to defend yourself. You'll find that you'll constantly be trying to defend, or, as you say, being silenced. You either go silent, but the silence is not one of confidence, it's one of fear. I dare not open my mouth because I can't take it. And then I've seen cases where people just are checked out. They just dissociate. The person is ranting. I've seen where a woman, she recorded her husband just going at her, going at her, going at her, belittling. And you could see her, she just sat there and she zoned out. She was so emotionally broken. She didn't want to go anywhere. She didn't want to do anything. And when you saw that woman's life before, you cannot believe it's the same person. It's like life just got
Yeah.
so meaningless. There are spouses out there who are going through this because the relationship is being zapped, the marriage is being zapped. And even those who are engaged, you will get a beautiful ring, and they say, "Oh, I gave you that ring." The air of superiority. I chose you. Nobody else would have chosen you. You have those are the blatant narcissists, the overt ones. Nobody would have chosen you. Are you going to really throw that in my face? I was the one who made you somebody. I was the one who picked you up.
Yes.
I was the one who brought you here. I was the one who elevated you. I gave you a life. I made you a wife. I made you a husband. I put food on this table. You're going to listen to me.
Sad.
Yeah, yep. So you're always left trying to defend yourself. You're humiliated a lot. They'll humiliate you in the public. They'll humiliate you in the private. They'll humiliate you in front of the children. They'll humiliate you anywhere and wherever they feel. You'll be threatened, manipulated into gameplay, in the mind game playing. You feel devalued. You feel denied of reality. You'll be minimized, criticized. You feel invalidated, overwhelmed. You feel intimidated. There's going to be a lot of uncontrolled rage. That's one of the biggest things, uncontrolled rage. You'll be isolated so that you can't get
Yeah.
help.
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't want you to speak to anybody. They don't want you to interact with people because people will begin to show you that you are being deceived. So they'll have to lessen that occurrence. They don't want that to happen, so they'll try to isolate you, move you away miles, or put rules in the home. Oh, your mother's not allowed to come here. Don't you see what she does? Or
Yes.
don't you see how he operates? Your father cannot come here, or your sister can't come here. Anyone who is off making sense in your life, they'll isolate you from that because to them, they must win. They must be in control. They must be in control. And then you have those who make a lot of promises, 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 promises. They future fake. This is what we call the future faking, where they'll fake a lot of futuristic promises just to make you feel comfortable and accept the proposal. And that's what they want because they know that women especially want the ring. They know women want the ring. So let's go to some love bombing is another one where no one will love you like I do. You know, say that nobody will treat you. We have such a great thing going on. That listen to me, you're really gonna break this up? Look at what we have together. Look at what we have. The other one is hovering. They will be nice for a season, so they're hovering over niceness, and then they will just switch into the notion and the mode of narcissist. Yes, mercy. And then you will have the fear of leaving. You'll have the fear of leaving because you're saying to yourself, but what if they change? What if counseling will help? What if this will help? What if I talk to them better? What if I change my tone? What if I just, cook more? What if I clean more? What if I just agree to everything he's saying or she's saying? So you'll have a fear of leaving. And then it gets you pulled back. So, what pulls you back into this web is the sympathy that you have for this person. Oh gosh, nobody understands them. But they understand themselves. They know what they're doing. They know what it is. It's just that again, the capability to be changed and to be stretched is typically not there. Now, some people have said that they are fearful of leaving because, especially here, some states they don't care if the person is narcissistic. When it's time in terms of family court and who the children go with and the parental separation stuff, court sometimes don't care if there's a narcissistic parent. Yeah, that
Wow.
happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with family. So some people would just say it makes no sense to leave because my children may end up with them. Some court systems don't care. Yeah,
People not will make you hate yourself.
yep, definitely. If you're not careful, a narcissist will make you hate yourself. And then they'll guilt trip you into abandoning them or leaving them. Everybody left. You're just
They will
like
even
them.
start crying, you
They'll
know. They will start crying and start to cry.
they'll start crying, they'll throw tantrums, they will beg, they will pound on a door for
Mm.
hours. They'll pound on your residence for hours. A lot of tantrums being thrown.
And the tantrum, the highest tantrum that could be thrown is if you say no.
Oh,
No is
no
a
is a
word.
trigger
Yeah,
word.
no is a word that is not taken in a
Mm-hmm.
very good way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because for them it has to be yes.
Yeah.
It has to be yes, especially if you stand on that no. If you stand
Mm-hmm.
on that no, and it is so crazy because let's say you're a person that you hold boundaries, you stand on your boundaries.
Yeah. Yeah.
A narcissist will do every and anything to find out. They will stick around to find out. Listen, how can I find that weak area that
That
I can
entry.
use?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a put up and shut up. Like put up with it and shut up.
Mm-hmm.
Put up with me and shut up. That's the tendent. That's the typical air of this person. I am here to be superior. I'm here to take from you. I ain't changing. You can't change me. You can't love me into a change because that's really true. Psychologically, you cannot love a narcissist into change. You cannot. So it's a put up and shut up kind of game. It's a whole act and not an act to say they can change and they're just behaving badly. They're psychologically imprinted like that because of the development brain wise from childhood and for some people what they've been through. So it's a disorder. It's not something where, oh, I caused them to be narcissistic. It's a disorder. Use the scripture of submission out of Oh, we were getting to that, where the scriptures are twisted, especially as you said, the one about submission. That is so true, especially for those in marriages. Submission and how you don't have any respect or you don't have any manners, and they will twist your loyalty to things like to church, to
Yeah.
your ministry, to your pastor, to your leaders. They'll twist it.
Wow.
I've been unfaithful because you just love your church too much.
Yes.
The word of God say, hey, you have some devious believers who are narcissistic. Like, how do you even have the two words in the same sentence?
Yes.
But it's a psychological condition. It's a mental condition. And love does not change the person. Love can help to cause a change, But there's something that I always say to clients: you cannot love trauma out of anybody. You can love them through their process. And even right now, let me tell you, to be honest, right now, in the medical field, in the counseling, the psychological, the clinical psychologist, in that area, in my area, it is really hopeless to deal with a person like this. They have already written a narcissist off. Like if I was checking out the updated cases, um, psychological cases, the documentaries, and even the famous Dr. Ramini, who is a beautiful scholar in this
Yeah.
area of navigating with a narcissist. Almost every study, they don't believe a narcissist can change. Because remember, personality, narcissistic tendency is a personality style.
Hmm.
It's a personality type. So if as a person, I am loud, I'm bubbly, I'm expressive, I'm just big and bold and just everywhere. That's my personality. That's how I was imprinted. Touch. With a narcissist, it's a personality type. So can you imagine? It's just how they were wired because of a certain shaping. Now, I personally believe that science and medicine have cast them off. They cannot be helped. What people are saying, doctors, psychologists are saying, you just need to leave this person. You need to just get out from this relationship because it will not get better. They'll tweak a little bit amount. They may feel bad for a minute and then they'll go back to being grandiose and shameful and insulting and twist words and turn your words around into what you didn't say.
Yes.
That happens so much where you will wonder, did I say that? Oh my God, did I really do that? You start to forget. You really truly start to wonder, did I really say that? Like you really don't know if you said it because they will twist your words and them not smile. They're not batting an eye. And anybody who is listening to them will believe you are the bad one. They can have a whole city turn against you, and even yourself included in that city. your, yourself is in the city turned against you. So you even turn against yourself because of how skillful they know how to weave it. I personally believe God can change any personality type, any personality, one touch. But also, the person must do some amount of work.
Yes.
That work needs consistent being present and mindful of other people's feelings. It's going to be the hardest battle of your, it's going to be the hardest transformation you'll ever have to do. But if you want to change, if you want a family, you're going to have to be committed to doing the work. Is it going to be easy? No. Will it seem impossible? Definitely. Because right now, the profession don't believe a narcissist can change. Straight up. Period. They don't believe a narcissist can change. They're telling you straight up, if you're going into a relationship like that, you better prepare to go deal with that battle because just know your partner not changing. But it makes the relationship easier when you know the game and you know how to play it.
Yes.
Easier because, again, as studies have shown, easier is really relative and easier is really subjective. So if you want to go through being torn apart and shredded emotionally to the point where nothing is happy again anymore, hello, Kimberly Whitemeyer, where welcome, and thank you for being on. If you want to go through that burden of not knowing yourself,
That's pretty much just function in the marriage.
that's just functioning.
There's
That's not
nothing.
thriving.
Yeah, that's just functioning.
You're gonna have to be able to compartmentalize so well, and it's tiring. It's tiring. Hey, guy. Hey, Petrina. Good to see you. So it's so tiring. Tiring. I'm telling you that it's gonna rock your world the wrong way. Your world will be rocked, but it's not in a good way. Let's continue. Impact of the on the offended partner. So impact again on the person who is being hurt by this narcissist. There's going to be a lot of changes in your thoughts about yourself, your identity, perspective of life, and it will eventually shift how you become as a person. Things you used to love, you do them no more. Things you used to do, you do them no more. Places you used to go,
Go
you
there
go there
no
no
more.
more. Like the song says at church. Great change since I met that narcissist. And we're laughing because, listen,
Serious. It's
it is
serious.
so serious. It is
Serious.
so serious. So there will be a fear to be intimate with that person. There's no attraction. There's no connection because how do you connect?
Everything will be done out of fear.
Everything is out of fear and a disconnection. Disconnection, regret. You feel helpless, confused, you have trust issues, you're isolated, you're constantly in shame, you self blame, you're depressed, you go through a lot of grief and loss. Your attachment style is affected with even your children.
Yes.
You, as Samantha is saying, yes, you lose desires. Your typical desires, they're just lost. You're fatigued, you start to experience physical illness. Physical illness. You can't sleep, you can't think straight, you're getting sick physically, you're stressed, you're experiencing chronic pain, you're exhausted, you're vulnerable to so many illnesses, you're morally injured, you're broken down in terms of your limits and your values. And some people start to get fixated on suicidal ideation because they need a way out. You can imagine it's so bad that somebody really trap you so much that your only way out is to take yourself out.
Yes.
Your only way out. I'm a new subscriber and I'm learning so much. Welcome,
Welcome,
girl. Welcome,
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 welcome.
welcome.
Good to see
Thank you
you.
for being on. We
Good to see
welcome
you.
you. So, someone traps you so much, all because of this. What are we talking about? When two become one, let's not lose sight of that. The foundation of a marriage should not be based on this. The foundation of a marriage should not be based on dressing together or alike. The foundation of a marriage should not be, oh, because I'm cute. I'm always I say you cute. Oh, because she beautiful.
Yeah.
The foundation of a marriage is not that. It's not those things. The foundation of a marriage is an assignment and the will of God. So that is why we have to be careful who we are saying yes to and for what reasons. The assignment shouldn't come afterwards. The assignment should be before because the horse needs to go before the cart so that the horse can pull the cart. Sometimes assignment is unfolded during the
Yeah.
marriage. We can't always knock that because not everybody is perfect and is mature at the time of the marriage. We get that.
Learning process.
Learning process, healing process. But I tell you, based on our experience, it will be some of the worst days of your life. It will be some of the worst days of your marriage. Ask us about that. It will be some of the worst days of your life. Preventable. Could have been prevented. So health issues, suicidal ideation, anxiety. You ever know some people who every time you hear the door pull, your heart start race because you know the dysfunction that's gonna start. From you hear the key turn into the doorknob or doorknob. From you hear the key turn. From you hear the key go in the lock. You start panic. Your head start hurting. Your hands start sweat. Your heart start race. Why? Because the narcissist is home. The accuser of the brethren is home. it's hard to build a home with that kind of a person or a personality type. How do we heal? How do we help this person? How do we help ourselves in this situation? Do you, by the way, what's your thoughts on the narcissist not being able to change? Because, like I said, they've been like that type of person or that mental condition. I'm so compassionate. I am so, you'd almost say I pity. I'm so hurt for someone who is in that position. Because as a trauma and recovery coach, I work with these wounded hearts, these crushed souls, these soul wounds. And it's just so sad to say they're not going to change, which is why I still cling to the hope, one hope, the hope of
Yeah.
the Holy Spirit. Apart from that, they ain't changing. What do you think?
That it's something that you will sit and think, okay, wow, Um, but I feel like the only, other than the Holy Spirit, I
Mm-hmm.
feel like the only thing that comes to mind in
Mm-hmm.
helping that person to change is, as we spoke about, or I was kind of sharing that, understanding the trigger,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
understand the different things that would trigger this person,
Mm-hmm.
and respond according.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like gradually, as you do that, you not only know the person or understand the person,
Mm-hmm.
but also you take your time to implement things that could divert that person's mindset
Mm-hmm.
in a certain direction. I don't know if that's making sense. Like that's the only
It,
thing.
I
Yeah.
understand what you are saying, but is it possible?
Well, that is the thing. I feel
Because a
like
narcissist is not taking any advice from you.
that's the only thing. It's almost playing the reverse game,
Mm-hmm.
or using his tactics.
Yeah. Oh, to use their
Yeah,
weapon to
yeah,
fight.
is
Yeah.
using their weapon, because I think I was
Mm-hmm.
hearing something that someone was sharing. I don't remember the person's name, but they're talking about if you have gotten to that place where you want to leave a
Mm-hmm.
narcissist,
Yeah.
and how to play that game,
Mm-hmm.
where it's almost like detaching yourself emotionally.
Yeah.
While
Mm-hmm.
going through that,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's 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 a rough situation, but
Mm-hmm.
know that your mindset is, hey, I need to leave this person, I need to get out
Mm-hmm.
of this situation.
Mm-hmm.
How to counteract what they are doing,
Yeah.
and it's pretty much shutting down,
Mm.
detaching yourself, um,
Yeah.
from
Mm-hmm.
emotionally from this situation and this
Mm-hmm.
person. You understand?
Yeah.
And it goes even deeper, where this thing could test you.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of person might not agree with that, but it's also like it's almost like a test, where
Mm-hmm.
while this person is storing this, and
Mm-hmm.
you are counteracting,
Yeah. Mm.
it's like you're building your mental
Yeah.
capacity.
Mm-hmm.
You're building yourself emotionally, so you're not, the darts are coming.
Mm, mm, mm,
You understand? and
mm-hmm.
and and how I look at it also is that this is kind of something that, let's say you don't have a narcissist
Yeah.
partner, it
Yeah.
helps in the relationship,
Mm-hmm.
because what this does is that it helps you to listen more.
Mm. That's a unique way of
Yeah,
thinking
yeah,
about
it
dealing with a
yeah,
narcissist.
it
Mm.
helps you to listen more.
Mm-hmm.
The person might say to you, hey, so I want you to do this, and I want you to do, and you would be like this,
Mm.
okay, all right, I will think about it. Like, you will
Mm.
use words like that. You're not going to,
To disarm
who are you
them.
to tell me
Yeah.
to do
Mm.
this? So it's going to be a back and forth.
Mm.
So
Mm-hmm.
what you now do is, now you compose yourself to say, okay, I know who this person is.
Yeah.
I know what this person is coming with,
Yep.
and
Yep.
so I will
Mm-hmm.
not just. It's like what we talk
Mm-hmm.
about, to react.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
As soon as the person talk, you react.
Yeah.
What you
Mm.
do now is you compose yourself,
Mm.
listen to what this person
Yeah.
is saying, and you basically using reverse psychology on
Mm-hmm.
this person.
That's good.
You understand?
That's
So
good.
that is the only thing that I could um,
Mm-hmm.
think about. But as you said, what if that person is really gone?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Because there are stages of it. There are different levels of being narcissistic. And as you rightly said, there are some who you can catch them on being good, and you use that as a weapon to inflate them. Because if their need is to consistently be right, to consistently win, to consistently control and dominate, you can use reverse psychology to say, oh, yeah, all right. Oh my, your shirt is
Beautiful.
I love your shirt. Oh, you did that today at work? You are the boss.
Yes.
You are the man.
Yes.
Or you are the woman. They love that. But the thing is, because most times they are taken from the relationship, and it's hard for someone to say, oh, you are the boss, when you can't even formulate a sentence to praise, because every day of your life you are being beaten, emotionally wounded, emotionally distorted.
And that is why I say no. Gaining knowledge of how to deal with a person like that,
Yeah.
step back, as I always say, you understand? Step back, assess the situation.
Yeah.
So instead of going back and forth with this person or
Yeah.
allowing this person to beat you down, it's almost like detaching yourself from the situation emotionally. Though you're basically detached in a sense, right? Because if you're
Yeah.
constantly beaten down and all of that, it's basically bringing you down a phase where it's like, I'm losing interest in this, I'm losing love, I don't know if I can love this person.
Yeah.
You understand? It's different emotions,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, it's not something that is positive. The emotion is not positive, it's not a positive emotion. So pretty much, it's like, though you're halfway there, know that you see the situation and say, okay, you're doing this to me.
Yeah.
I am now not going to focus so much on what is going on with you coming at me and all of that. You understand? Now it's
Okay.
about reversing it. So you beating me down and say, you look fat, or your head big, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You say, okay, all right,
Can't
if
use
you
the F
say
word on
that,
YouTube.
head big,
If,
fat,
yes, you cannot use the F word on YouTube. People are sensitive.
yeah. But
Yes.
anyway, anything that sounds like a person would beat you down, using
Yeah.
words that could affect you mentally or
Yeah.
emotionally,
Mhm. Mhm.
detaching yourself from that
Yeah.
and now looking at it. And that's why they also say that in these relationships or in these situations,
Yeah.
you have to um, take the time to try to build yourself, like
Mm.
mentally.
Yep. Yep. That's
You
where the
understand?
fight is.
Yeah, you
Mhm.
have to, while this is going on, I know that it's hard,
Mhm.
because this is somebody that, okay, I love this person, but this person is doing this. But at the end of the day, that's why we always say, um, for you to love somebody,
Yeah.
be able to love somebody, you have to love yourself first.
Yep. And that loving also creates boundaries as to, okay, I will not accept this because I don't want this a part of my love story.
Exactly. So you have to love yourself first. So if this person is beating you down, and at first you were not a person that truly love yourself, or you look at yourself as as some would say, the it, in a sense, in a humble way, pretty much, it will affect you.
Definitely.
It will tear you down. So yeah, you have to get to that place where you can still affirm yourself. Hey, I am still beautiful. I am still, I'm still this way. I'm still smart. I am still
Yeah.
intelligent. You understand?
Yeah. That's
So
good.
those are the ways of counteracting a relationship like this. Sometimes we can be so consumed. We can be so into something that, as you say, we will lose ourselves. But it's that wake up call. It's that moment when you wake up and say, "Whoa!" Like, no, you understand?
Yeah.
No, like, no, I can't do this. I can't go through this.
Yeah.
And
This is
as
not
we,
right.
yeah. So when you get that wake up call, is now, how can I maneuver the situation? How can I counteract what is going on?
Or do I want this?
Or do I
Because
want
there's,
this?
yeah, there, people should not be forced to, if they cannot survive, because there is this assessment that's being done, and we're going to look at that in the how do you heal from this, how do you move on, navigate this relationship. There is an assessment that we usually do with in counseling, psychological assessment, where we have to see where you fall on the 12 pillars of I think it's need, emotional need. And if you're falling in too much of the categories, you're not advised to stay, because basically what your body's telling you, the next thing that is going to happen is a collapse.
Mm-hmm.
It cannot function. If the person is really still thriving and striving in this relationship, and what you do is say, don't hurt me one bit, which is typically not realistic, then they'd say, oh, you maybe don't have to leave your relationship, leave your marriage, because you are not being deterred by this narcissistic trait, this personality type. So it really is based on how you are able to function. And if you just cannot go a day, we typically advise looking at spending some time apart, getting help, and then see how best you navigate moving forward.
Yes.
So how do we heal? The first thing is we have to understand, or to realize, and to choose understanding the game. You have to be deliberate about learning the game of a narcissist. What is the game they play, and do you want this relationship? Do you want that kind of a love? A love? Do you want that relationship? Are you made and built to go through that? Especially those who don't have a ring yet in that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You're not engaged, you're not courting, and even if you're courting, you're not yet married. It's not finalized yet. Do you want to go forward with that? So learn the game. The core root is a narcissist is almost, people will sometimes say they are soulless. Soulless. They don't have any soul. That's how it feels. So they need the love. Love typically don't help by itself.
Mm-hmm.
So they need love, is an attachment dysfunction. But your love don't necessarily help them, don't change them, don't phase them. It may make them feel good,
Mm-hmm.
because that's what they like, to feel good. But the love is not creating no healthy change. And that's the problem. So number one, learn the game. The first aim is that they're going to judge, criticize, ridicule you. They're going to beat down your self esteem. The next aim is that you need to live feeling shameful and them superior. So you have to now catch on to the direction of this game. You need to become aware of this game. Okay, so see that this is the game and the aim. How do I fight this? How do I combat? How do you combat? So, number two is redirect and disengage confidently. So if they're starting to insult you, if they're starting to backhand, good night, sweet 16, if they are starting to offend and hurl criticisms, disengage, redirect. Oh, so how was your day?
Yes.
How was your day? And you have to do it confidently. Not um can't bother with that. How was your day? If you give any sign of fear, you're going to be sharked.
Yes.
So again, it's not we're not saying, oh, stay and do these things, but outsource, try
Mm-hmm.
it, maximize your
Yeah.
options,
Try
and
different ways.
then
Yeah.
you think about, all right,
It's
separation.
not
I
working.
can't stay in this. I can't stay in this. So redirect the conversation, move the conversation away from the criticisms, the insult, and disengage. Don't follow it along. Don't carry along a narcissistic conversation, and depersonalize the conversation like you were explaining. Cut it from being personal to you, and just start to understand that, hey, even if it was another person, they'll be doing the same thing. It's not about you.
Yes.
Number three, question firmly and genuinely and remain calm. Try to remain calm at all times. So if they're saying, you're a horrible cook, you're the worst wife ever, you are the worst husband ever, because they'll tell you these things. They will blatantly tell you, especially severe cases of narcissism. Remain calm, depersonalize. Oh, it's not about me, because I know I'm a good
Mm-hmm.
person, good wife, good whatever. So you can say, really? So how would you do it? Yeah, it doesn't taste good. The house is looking terrible. So how would you keep the house? Like, genuinely, how would you do it? And then you'd ask things like, What do you feel about this? Or why would you say that? And you could say, if other persons heard you say that about me, would they agree? Who would agree with that? Tell me two people who would agree with you. So basically, you're standing firm in your self confidence. Number three, allow space and silence. When they are enraged, let them carry the weight of the dysfunction. Because when they hear silence, it's so heavy. They're going to either go silent too, they're either going to end up shutting up, or they're going to start to wonder why you're not toe to toe with them, why you're not going back and
Mm-hmm.
forth with them. So use space and silence. You stay at a distance and you just stand silently in confidence. Stay silent. So again, and some people would say hold their gaze. Just keep staring into their eyes. Just hold the gaze firmly. Because when they keep looking at you and you're not saying anything, that pressure is so heavy to carry this heat and rage by themselves. They're going to eventually start dwindling down because nobody carrying on with them and going at it with them. The next one is do not carry the heavy emotions alone. You have to ensure that someone knows that you're dealing with this. Somebody needs to know, either a trusted friend or family member, and ask them to help you evaluate. Am I looking at this in a negative light? Am I overreacting, or is it really something strange going on with this person? The next one is set your boundaries and defend them against shame. So if they say, strip and go stand out, listen, guys, I'm telling you, you have some really, when it comes to the extreme severe cases of narcissism, they will tell you give you commands that will belittle you. You're walking outside to the shop without shoes. You have partners who will remove all your shoes, put them away, and tell you to walk barefooted. But you have to set your boundaries and defend against shame. Defend against the shame that they're projecting on you. The next one is reinvent and strengthen your sense of self. For you to deal with this, if you choose to stay, if you're in your marriage and you're saying, hey, my marriage is more than this, God can change this. If you choose to stay, you have to strengthen your sense of self, because your identity and your self awareness is what's going to help to carry you through. The other one is understand that doubting is a tactic that is used. They will allow you to doubt yourself. They will make you feel like you are the problem, you are the fault, you are the one who is at odds here. So, doubting, watch out for the crying, watch out for the begging, watch out for the tantrums, watch out for the you did this, the blame, the shame, because the doubting is a tactic that is being used. Don't give in to the doubting. Don't self doubt. Don't give in to them saying and doing all these things, because what they're assessing is, all right, I say the right thing to manipulate this situation. And they'll become skilled at doing it. And then they know you don't have no boundaries to withstand them. The other one is manage expectations if you decide to stay in this relationship, because you can't want maturity from this person and validation and love because they're not capable in this moment to give it due to their mental condition or their personality imprint. They're not able to. So manage your expectations so you don't become disappointed too much. The next one is radical acceptance. This is one big one that leaves a lot of partners trapped, feeling stuck. If you have not accepted that a personality type or narcissism is a personality type, and when we say personality, it's the way someone is, it's a psychological imprint. You have to accept that this is who they are and how they were shaped. You alone just so can't change them, and they'll typically don't not want to change for you because that's a form of control to them, which is triggering for them. So stop waiting for a change. Understand that this change will never come, and either move on if you're not married, especially, or you decide that, hey, I'll go for it. I'm in it to win it for the long haul, and learn the game and play it well so that you're not too scarred emotionally. The next one is Understand that you're not supposed to be making decisions out of fears. Fears like, he has my back, who's going to have my back next? There are other people who will have your back. Or she treat me so well in the beginning, I may not find someone who can put me up. There will be more. There will be better. There will be bigger. Don't make it out of fear, or I'm 40 years old, I'll never find another partner. No. You need functional, healthy, thriving, blossoming relationships, not just a decision made on fear. The next one is understand that there is an empathetic reversal that may happen where you may feel in sympathy with them because you just start so you're gonna leave them alone, nobody's gonna want them, care for them. That's not your job. They need to take accountability and commit to doing the work every single day. The next one is, if you are leaving this narcissist, you have to realize that it's going to come with a bag of issues. They're not going to allow you to just disengage and go just like that. They'll spoil your reputation if they have to. They will take finances. They will turn children against you. They will turn family members against you. They'll tell lies. They will maybe stalk. They'll probably follow you all around the place. They'll put up a fight because they want to control the narrative of how even you live.
Yes. You should
It
not be the one leaving.
you should, yes, so it's not on your call.
Yeah.
The conditions are not up to you. It should be them controlling the conditions. The next one is, you need counseling. You need therapy. You need a trauma informed coach, either if you are the person in this position or you are the offended partner, because you need to reconnect. You need to get that psychological evaluation so that we can see where you are, or your psychologist can see where you are on the spectrum and what is needed for a personalized plan for your mental health, for your physical health, for your emotional and even spiritual health. You need professional help. You need professional help. And for the narcissist, if there's a narcissist watching this video, you need to understand that, again, we are so sorry that this is your condition, your situation. We know that it's not going to be a order easy to fill, to be compassionate and to change and da 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 da. It's going to sound impossible. You may not even want to do it, but just understand that we feel for you. And you will also need a few things. You need psychological help as well. You're going to need to be accountable if you want to do the work. I believe it's still possible. There's still hope. You need accountability. You need daily mindfulness of other people's feelings. You need to be reflective. Your self reflective capacity has to be engaged every single day. This is going to be very hard because this was never challenged or engaged from you are like this. And the other cases is deliverance, because somewhere there is soul openings, portals, legalities, and it's also God can change any situation. That's what I personally believe. It is probably what do you call it, what do you call that term, controversial. I know medically and psychologically narcissists are just really set to never be able to change. But I believe that anybody can change. Anybody can change under the power and the imprint of God.
Amen.
Anybody can change. God can deliver, God can heal, God can deliver. So, whether or not the case seems impossible medically to man, to others, to doctors, to leaders, whoever, I believe that there is a possibility to be surrendered and changed unto the Lord by the Lord, the Spirit of God.
Amen.
What are
Amen.
your thoughts? I don't remember if you had said you believe that a narcissist can change. I don't remember if you had given us
Yeah,
an answer.
I feel like anybody can change. Once there's a God, and I feel like anybody can. Man will say, hey, this person is written off. There's no help, there's no hope. But I feel like God can change. But what I can say though is that the person has to get to that place of realizing that, listen, I need change.
Yep. Yeah.
Because God is not going to force anybody. Oh, you have to change. You need to change, and
Mm.
you have to first say, okay, I need this change.
Yeah. You need to be
First
aware.
recognize that, listen, this is what is going on with me,
Mm-hmm.
and I need to make a change. So,
Yeah.
I believe anybody can.
Okay.
I believe anybody
Yeah.
can.
And for those who are not married, please understand that this is not I'm just choosing to behave badly. This is a whole mental health condition. Please, singles, please, those who are courting, assess the risk because there are going to be a lot of them. And typically, we see a high divorce rate with people who are married to narcissists or who didn't know the partner was a narcissist or had narcissistic tendencies and traits. They didn't know, they didn't understand what that was, which is why platforms like these are so important. So, spend the time to analyze your partner. Spend the time to pray, to
Mm-hmm.
seek the Lord, to understand, hey, Lord, is this your will? Am I in the right direction? Does this person is he in assignment? Is she in assignment? Is she best to carry this assignment in my life? And then you make choices and say yes to things. So it's not just up to you, and also leaving is also not just up to you because you said yes. You have to also go back to God to say, do I leave? Do I stay? So thank you guys so much for watching. We are honored to be on again tonight to share with you how to love a narcissist or loving a narcissist, how to navigate, how to deal. We'll see you guys on Monday with another inspirational episode on Rekindle, which is our Monday night's program, connecting to couples around the world. Now, I want to just quickly close out in prayer, and I'm going to ask you to do the honors of praying for us as we go. Or we can pray together. You want us to pray together? And if you have your partners next to you, please hold on to your partners and let's pray before we go. Father, in
Most
the
righteous
name
Lord,
of
eternal
Jesus, we
Father,
give you the
thank you
praise, we give you the glory, we
for who
give you
you
the
are, who will
honor.
always be. I
We
give you
tell you thanks,
praise.
Lord,
I honor you, mighty God,
for
because
what
of
you
who
have
you
done,
are. I give you
what
thanks,
you're
Lord,
doing,
allowing
what
us
you're
one more
going to
time
do.
to be in this fashion, Father. I pray
Thank you,
that
Father,
as
for those
our
who are
words
online,
has gone forth, Father, I pray
those
that
who
you
are
will
going
touch the
through hard
heart and the mind of
situations.
somebody that is
Father, even
online,
those
mighty
who are
God, that whether
narcissistic, Father,
the
those who are
situation is there
mentally
or not. I
scarred,
pray, Father, that the
whether from
information that has
childhood,
gone out will fully
whether from
equip even a
adulthood,
single person
whatever the
right now.
condition.
That as they navigate
Lord,
forward,
we
mighty God, they
tell
will
you
make the
thanks.
right
We give you the
choices
praise. We give you the
in how
glory. We
they
give you the
go
honor.
about,
Father, touch.
oh God,
You
engaging
can change and
in
improve.
knowing somebody,
You
mighty
can
God.
change the
I
biology
pray
of
that
a
you
man or a
continue to have
woman.
your own sweet way.
You
Touch
can
the married couples
change,
also that
Jesus.
might be going through
You
this
can
situation,
change,
Father.
Father.
I
You
pray that,
make the
mighty God, that you
difference.
will be the
Thank
change
you,
in their
Lord, for
lives,
what you are
Father.
doing and what you're
Have
going
your
to
way
do.
continually
We
as we
give you the
look to you,
praise. We
as we
give you
give you
the
thanks.
glory.
In Jesus' name,
And I pray for those that
amen.
are represented here. Thank you, Lord. Thank you,
Amen.
Jesus.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. All right, guys. Have a wonderful night and we'll talk soon. Bye bye. Not saying bye bye.